Texas House Democrats have left the state to deny quorum and block a GOP-led redistricting plan meant to net Republicans 5 extra U.S. House seats, sparking threats of arrest and court action. What's happening here, Dad?
Well, redistricting supposedly takes place after each decennial census. Every 10 years, the census comes out with new population numbers. Let's just talk about Congress, because that's what's at stake here. And states have to redraw their district lines to conform to the one-person, one-vote rule established by Supreme Court decisions back in the early 1960s, such as Baker versus Carr, the landmark decision on one person, one vote. However, the state of Texas decides we are going to redraw the lines in the middle of the census years. That is, there's no new census in 2025. There's not one until 2030. But we are going to draw the lines, and they openly and brazenly admit, Sam, what is the purpose of drawing the lines? To more closely conform to one person, one vote?
No. To get more Republicans in the House.
Exactly. Period. And they're brazen about it. We are redrawing the lines to create, we hope, at least 5 more Republican districts. And this is a state with an already Republican gerrymandered plan that's yielded 25 Republican congressional seats, 12 Democrats, and 1 vacancy, which is likely to go to the Democrats. So already, Republicans are controlling about 2/3 of the Senate seats, the U.S. House seats in the state of Texas, but they have admitted that their sole purpose, not for good government, not for one person, one vote, but to jigger the lines, to gerrymander them so that they could get even a more lopsided delegation that would give Republicans some 32 seats as compared to 13 or 14 for the Democrats, well above the 2/3 level.
Now, I heard some Texas Democrat on some local Dallas station saying that, they did what they're doing, they've done in lots of other states. They did it in Minnesota, they did it in Louisiana or something like that. So it's not unprecedented or something to that nature.
Yeah. Look, gerrymandering is as old as the Republic. The name gerrymander goes back to a distorted, partisan-oriented district drawn by Governor Elbridge Gerry of Massachusetts in the early 19th century. That's where the name gerrymander started. And it's a generic term for drawing districts in order to achieve partisan advantage. Now, let's make it absolutely clear. Republicans do not deserve to draw lines to give them 5 more seats. Supposedly in our democracy, which Trump and his allies care nothing about, the voters, right, should be choosing their congressional representatives. The majority in the state legislature should not be choosing representatives for them by drawing distorted lines. Moreover, Trump, as always, has distorted the truth. Imagine that, Sam.
No. It can't be.
You heard what he said, right?
What?
We deserve 5 more seats because I got the highest vote ever.
Oh, yeah. Is that true?
No, of course not.
Of course not, right.
It may be true in terms of numbers, but that's
right.
meaningless because of the enormous population increase. If you want to compare the presidential vote to the distribution percentage-wise of congressional seats, what matters is not the raw totals, but the percentage Trump received, right?
Right.
And it is not even close.
No.
Not in the ballpark.
No?
No, for the highest percentage received by a candidate. Trump got 56% of the vote in Texas. In 1984,
right,
Ronald Reagan got 64% of the vote in Texas. In 1964, Lyndon Johnson, a Democrat, won his home state of Texas with 63% of the vote. We can go back to the earlier 20th century when Texas was a predominantly Democratic, not Republican state. Do you have any idea what Franklin Roosevelt got in Texas in 1936?
Can I guess?
Guess.
What did Trump get?
56.
I'm going to guess Roosevelt got 58.
You're not even close. You're not even in the 87%.
Dang.
31 percentage points higher than Donald Trump. Even Harry Truman.
No, not Harry Truman.
Harry Truman, imagine that, in 1948, got 66% of the vote. And this isn't a full accounting of all the many, many candidates who got a substantially higher percentage of the vote in Texas than did Donald Trump. So once again,
but you know what Donald Trump's going to say, right?
What?
If you take away all those illegal votes that Kamala Harris got, he'd be at 98% or something like that.
Yeah, right, he can say anything he wants. Right. Of course, there's not a shred of proof for any of that. Quite contrary. I'm so tired of the media saying Trump claims so-and-so without evidence. No, Trump claims so-and-so contrary to all the evidence.
That's a good point.
Yes. Every single claim he has made about Democratic voter fraud has been contradicted by an overwhelming mass of evidence from his own Justice Department, his own cybersecurity operation. Remember, he went to the courts after 220 to try to prove that the election was stolen. And out of 60 cases, how many did he win?
None.
Well, one inconsequential case. Basically, none. And these were not just, liberal, unhinged, Democratic appointed judges. There were many conservative, Federalist Society, Republican appointed judges. And guess what? Judges appointed by who else, Sam?
DJT.
Donald Trump himself. This claims have been refuted by every election official in the country, most of them Republicans, every independent investigation. So I am so tired of the media saying Trump claims this without evidence. The proper framing should be Trump claims this fraud in contradiction to the overwhelming weight of the evidence.
So what's going to happen now with this Texas stuff?
The reason they can do this is a 2019 decision by the very conservative Supreme Court in which they said we're not going to deal with political gerrymandering, and that was reaffirmed by a later decision, basically giving a green light to the states to rig elections, gerrymander them, something, of course, Trump always accuses his opponents of doing, without any fear of consequences, particularly in a state like Texas. There still could be state court cases, but out of the 9 justices on the Texas Supreme Court, how many are Republicans, Sam?
None.
9. Oh, there's no hope.
Oh, I said none.
Oh, I thought you said 9.
Sorry.
9 out of 9, 0 Democrats. So
that's
there's
what
no
I meant.
hope.
0 Democrats, right?
That, in a lawsuit in state courts, that the Democrats are going to get anywhere. And this goes, yes, states gerrymander all the time, Republicans and Democrats, but Republicans have been much more ruthless and much better at doing this than Democrats, particularly after they did so well in the midterm elections of 2010, gaining unified control of a large number of swing states, North Carolina, Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and they went ahead and severely gerrymandered both state legislature and Congress in those states, which gave them, according to every independent analysis, by itself a double-digit lead in U.S. congressional elections. So why are they doing this? In part because they can. There's nothing to stop them. And this is different from the usual process, since it's done in between the two census years, not in response to new census data. It's done on top of an already severely gerrymandered set of congressional districts in Texas that are still in litigation. I testified just a few months ago. Remember, Sam? Mm-hmm. I went down to El Paso.
Down in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Well, I didn't fall in love with anyone, but I did testify against what Texas is doing with election rules, and particularly its gerrymandering. The other thing that's so unprecedented about this is they're so blatant about it. You know, they are not disguising it in any way. They're not claiming this has anything to do with the public interest or good government. It is strictly a power grab. And what have we said is our one-sentence description of American politics?
Democrats have no Kit Kats. Republicans have no M&Ms.
Exactly. You know, you can't stand on principle when you have no principles. You know, this certainly is validation of the idea that Republicans are out under Trump and the MAGA movement, which is not just Trump, it's the whole party now almost. They're just out to grab as much power as they possibly
but what's going to you keep going, you always bring it back to Trump. I understand, but
he's behind all this.
I know, but what's going to happen here? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work?
All right, here's what's happening. Back in the early 21st century, Republicans pulled a similar maneuver to gerrymander. The Democrats, known as the Killer D's, also left the state to deprive Republicans of a quorum. It didn't work in the long run. You can't stay out forever. And under Texas rules, the governor can keep calling special sessions of the legislature to pass it. So once again, the Democrats, who have no other alternative, Republicans control the House, the Senate, the courts, the governorship, they left the state to try to deprive the House of a quorum, which requires 2/3, and Republicans don't hold 2/3 of the seats. And apparently they've fled to friendly Democratic states like Illinois, where they're under the protection of the very activist Governor Pritzker of Illinois. And Republicans are doing everything in their power to try to force them back, claiming, you know, that they are in dereliction of duty, that their seats could be vacated, that there could be civil judgments against them, even threatening criminal prosecution. So it's going to be very difficult for the Democrats to hold out indefinitely. But here's the one hope here, and that's the calendar.
Ah, the good old calendar.
Yes, Republicans have to set their primaries by early March. And according to Texas officials, that means for 2026, the midterms, they have to have a redistricting plan in place by early December. So they can't just indefinitely keep calling special sessions. And if the Democrats grow a spine, and God, I'm so proud of them that they're showing a spine here, and resist all efforts to bring them back. It's a long shot, but it's very possible. Or these legal efforts just drag out month after month. It is conceivable. This is the only way that this gerrymander can be prevented, is by running out the clock so that they can't pass a new gerrymandered plan until by early December. This is also a sign of desperation on the part of Republicans. All the signs indicate that Republicans are going to be very hard-pressed in a fair election to hold on to the House. In the so-called generic ballot, would you vote for a Republican or a Democrat? The Democrats hold the lead. They have a huge lead in terms of voter enthusiasm. 70% of Democrats in a recent polls are enthusiastic about voting in the midterms compared to just 50% of Republicans. Do you know what's happening to Republicans, even in Republican districts? They're in, or swing districts, when they hold town halls. Have you seen any of that?
People go like this.
Their own constituents are up in arms against them. Most of them are too chicken, even to hold town halls, even to speak to their own constituents. So this is a real move of desperation. The other thing the Democrats can do is grow another spine, or at least stiffen their spine, and counter with gerrymanders of their own. It's a horrible thing.
No.
It's a horrible thing.
No.
But, you got to fight fire with fire.
No, they say you don't fight fire with fire.
You do, though. The Democrats have never fought fire with fire. They always cave in to what Republicans are doing. But Democrats control New York. They control California. They can counter with gerrymanders of their own. There's too much at stake here. Just going to let the Republicans rig their way into holding on to the House in 2026 and continue to undermine our democracy, our freedoms, our liberties. I think the situation is so dire. Even though I've fought against gerrymandering all my life, testified against it, this may be the time to fight fire with fire. I'd be very curious. Can we take a poll on that?
Oh, that is a good poll.
Let's take a poll on that.
All right. Let's see. Should Dems gerrymander their own states? Is that what you want to ask?
No.
Okay.
Should Dems counter
Dems
the Republican gerrymander
GOP
with gerrymanders of their own?
Gerrymander with gerrymandering of their own.
All right, that'll be really curious to see.
I'll be really curious because I don't agree with you.
I know you don't. Let's see what our audience says.
Should Dems
counter
GOP gerrymander with gerrymandering of their own?
Right.
Yep.